This is the new Ferrari 488 GTB. It's the first turbocharged mid-engine Ferrari since the iconic 80s F40, so it's got some big shoes to fill. Yet, as our first drive of the 488 in Italy earlier this year proved, the GTB takes Ferrari to new highs in terms of performance and handling. However, now it's time for the 488 to prove its mettle on the UK's challenging roads. And we've decided to make this task even tougher by bringing along the latest Porsche 911 Turbo S for comparison. Okay, so it doesn't look much different from the outside to the old car, but underneath the familiar bodywork there are a host of updates, including more power and a tweaked four-wheel drive system. It also undercuts the Ferrari by around £30,000. So, which turbocharged supercar offers the most intoxicating thrills? Steve Sutcliffe and I hit the road to find out.
It's quite controversial choosing the 911 Turbo S to talk about rather than the 488 GTB. I mean, I've driven the 488 and it is a fantastic car. It just blows your mind in so many ways. But this new Turbo S, it's an awful lot of car for the money, and it is every bit as quick as the Ferrari, and yet it costs 40 grand less. The thing about the Turbo S is that it's just so usable, and it feels so strong and just bulletproof. 572 horsepower, 700 newton meters of torque with 750 newton meters on overboost between 2.2 and 4,000, so pretty much everywhere. In other words, four-wheel drive. It's a bit heavier than the Ferrari, and you can feel that just in its extra inertia, but I mean, crikey, it is fast. The torque and the instant throttle response is just phenomenal. I think if you drove this car blindfolded, you would not be able to tell that it's turbocharged. The kind of immediacy of response to the throttle is that kind of strong. I don't think you'd know it was turbocharged, I really don't. You get the PDK gearbox as standard, of course, and it is utterly brilliant. This road is quite fruity in terms of its surface quality, and as you can probably tell from listening to my voice, the Porsche's ride is not that great. Even though I've got it on normal, you can dial it between normal, sport and sport plus. It doesn't really matter what mode it's in, the ride is always pretty firm. That is one thing, that's one area that I will give it to the Ferrari. On this road, amazingly, the Ferrari rides better. But just to give you an idea as to how potent the Porsche is, we've timed this very car from 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds. Porsche claim it'll get to 100 miles an hour in 6.5 seconds. Porsche are always kind of underdo their figures. So you've got to imagine that this would get to 100 in just a whisker over 6 seconds. That is just crackers fast. But the thing is, you can use it all the time, everywhere, and it's because it's four-wheel drive and utterly robust in everything it does. It just feels so strong, the 911 Turbo S, and that's why I love it. No, it's not visceral, and it doesn't quite get your heart thumping like the Ferrari does. But you could jump in this car every day and drive it all day, every day, and you just know that at the end of several years' time, it would still feel exactly as it does now. And it just feels so practical, but also so stupefyingly fast. I mean, it just chews through gears like you would not believe. And you get out of it, having driven it, you know, reasonably hard on a road like this, you just think, I don't think there's another vehicle on this earth that could live with this car on this road. And I think that probably includes the Ferrari as well, because it's just, you know, it just dances around a little bit too much. This thing, you just murder the road, basically. You ask it to do stuff and it does it. Absolutely fantastic car, the Turbo S. And I know James is going to go on about how lovely and kind of emotional, and you know, it makes your kind of heart thump faster, the Ferrari, but this is the one I'd have. This is the one I'd have because you could drive the heck out of it every day and really, really enjoy it every day. Love the 911 Turbo S, I really do. Okay, so that's what I think of the new 911 Turbo S. It's an absolute monster of a car, and I have to be honest, I love it to bits. It's the one I'd have. Although I'm sure Mr. Disdale is about to tell you why I'm wrong, and why he would have the Ferrari instead.
So no doubt, Steve has told you that I'm going to tell you about the passion and the drama and the excitement of Ferrari, and well, he's right, I am going to tell you that, because this car is incredible. It pulls at your heartstrings like no other. Now, of course, a big part of the Ferrari's appeal is that engine. It's the heart of the car. The 3.9 litre twin-turbo V8, it's lost some of the raw animalistic kind of magic of the naturally aspirated engine from the 458, but in all other respects, it's a masterpiece. You know, it still sounds wonderful. Just, oh, listen to that. And the numbers are mind-boggling. So it's 660 brake horsepower, and we've got 750 newton meters of torque, which is the same as the Porsche, but it's carrying around 1,400 kilos, so it's around 200 kilos less than the Porsche, and my word, it shows. This thing just flies. Any gear, doesn't matter. So we're in 5th gear now, 30 miles an hour, put your foot down and it... Oh, this engine is bonkers. Just the performance. There is no reason you need to go any faster than this on the road. No reason at all. It's just crackers. Of course, there's more to the Ferrari than just the engine. The steering is super fast. You just have to give it the merest of tweaks and it turns in, and the front end is just nailed down, and yet there's so much traction out of corners as well. Even with the Manettino in the CT offsetting, which instigates Ferrari slide slip control, which gives you a little bit of playful movement. Even then, the traction is incredible and it fires out of corners with almost the same ferocity as the Porsche. But of course, it's not just about driving fast everywhere. This Ferrari is actually surprisingly easy to live with. The ride in the suspension's bumpy road setting is actually better than the Porsche. And yes, you don't get the back seats and the boot isn't as big, but it's civilised on the motorway. There's surprisingly little wind and road noise. Yes, the engine's sort of there all the time, sort of blaring away, but frankly, that's a noise you wouldn't want to live without. It's just glorious. And the visibility is good. I mean, this genuinely is an everyday supercar, just like the Porsche, but it's more than that. It's so much more special. It's the next level. The Porsche you could live with every day, but the Ferrari you want to savour for special occasions. The Porsche is the supercar for every occasion. The Ferrari, it is the supercar. All of that though, this engine, it's just bonk. Oh, honestly, it's absolutely mind-blowing. I can't think of a single reason why you'd ever want to go faster than this. I mean, it's like an opera singer. Beautiful. This 7-speed gearbox is just lightning quick changes, and you get this delicious blip of the throttle on the down changes. Everything about this car is special.
Now, I'm sticking to my guns on this one. I know the Ferrari is a very lovely thing, but there's just something about the usability and range of the new 911 Turbo S that I cannot put down. Genuinely, it's the one I'd go for. Even though the 488 is, in its own way, even more special to drive.
So, the Ferrari is more expensive than the Porsche, not as practical, and will cost even more to run. And yet, its explosive performance, acrobatic handling, jaw-dropping styling and spine-tingling soundtrack make it an irresistible and bewitching choice. The Porsche is a stunning piece of engineering and boasts huge reserves of ability, but it doesn't get under your skin like the Ferrari. As a result, the stunning and perfectly executed Ferrari takes the win by the narrowest of margins. Sorry, Steve. To watch our first drive of the Ferrari 488 Spider, click the video on the left. To watch a track battle between the Porsche 911 GT3 and the Nissan GTR, click the video on the right. Click the play icon to watch our latest videos, and click on our logo to subscribe.